And I was thinking about the young men who were going to be sent off. And I was also thinking about allies who were working in the field with me at the time, because I was working as a counselor of victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. And so it brought it to mind as I was watching the news again. Here we go again, right? There's these wars that are kind of being escalated in the name of freedom, but really oil, right? So then I started thinking again about the importance of allies. So this one is called "The War Against Women and Children Loses an Ally to Operation Fill in the Blank." 1. He'd wait with victims whose bodies were combed for evidence. Tear, scratch, hair. To mirror fragmented statements police officers abbreviated within notebooks tucked in the front pockets of their uniforms. He'd wait while nurses collected samples, semen, saliva, blood. They placed inside envelopes. He'd wait as each article of clothing dropped from the victim's body, shirts, pants, undergarments, and wait as each article was wrapped in brown paper, bundled, and handed to the officers. He stood throughout the hours, shifted from room to fluorescent flooded hallway, waiting for doctors to move down levels of trauma, heart attack, car accident, rape, to search their bodies for a few minutes under a bright lamp. 2. He was beginning to understand how the patriarchal order maintains itself. He was beginning to understand his part in the arrangement. He wanted to know more. In uniform, he sacrificed weekends. He participated in mock skirmishes in the desert occupied by the local military base. This was how he paid for the knowledge in classrooms. 3. Now he waits hours between orders meant to send him to areas designated on maps tacked to tent walls. He begins to notice soldiers, women, children, walking stunned and whispering to themselves, their voices stretching into drones, weave themselves into the night air. He begins collecting scraps of stories, fragments within notebooks he burrows nightly within his bunk. Okay, so this is brand new. I don't even have a typed version of it yet. It's called Surge. I hear surge, as if to hook terror. I hear, why would they bring their children? I hear the threat to end a surging chain migration. I hear, we can't handle this surge, and hear them attach illegal to their families, but not to their separation, not to children's wails, not to overcrowded spaces beneath the bridge or the floors of cold cells. I hear surge, and families are stripped of their names, their faces, and stories. I hear them attach illegal to their bodies, to their journey, but I don't hear the legal choice to flee violence recycled by our government in the name of anti-communism, in the name of anti-drugs, in the name of anti-terrorism, in the name of anti-immigration, in the name of anti-socialism. For what do all cycles do but repeat and give themselves new names? But this is not a surge, but a return to where we remain. The real surge is the chatter on an invented crisis. The real surge is investors disguised as politicians or buying politicians salivating for the profits the crisis promises. The real surge is the fear stoked by this manufactured crisis. The real surge are the claps and cheers for a president who wears his brand like a crown on a stage as flimsy as any wall he will ever build. Thank you.